Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Nice and early. Vince running the chat over there, but we've got Jern and Attila and Robert already checking in. Nice to hear from you. This is Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Alex White alongside Ryan McCormick. And Ryan, we have a congratulations in order. The Indiana Hoosiers are national champions. They get it done last night, 27-21 over the Miami Hurricanes in Miami. So just an incredible season for Indiana.
Yeah, absolutely. That one might have been kept a little bit closer than maybe it should have been. Some calls maybe didn't go in Indiana's favor with on the offensive side, defensive pass interference, whatever. But yeah, Indiana ultimately did complete a 16-0 season, the first time in a long time, I believe, since Yale did it in the 40s or something like that. You
are correct. I actually have that number right here. Okay. It is 132 years.
Oh, much longer than the 40s.
1894, Yale.
Okay. There was the fourth. That was the fourth.
Yes.
All right. But yeah, we do also have to wish a belated birthday to our dedicated viewer in JR, who did celebrate a birthday yesterday and got to celebrate with his Hoosiers winning the national championship there. So
a lot of alumni. Very, very happy, right? It's really fun to see all those videos for everyone who did get to go there and celebrate. And I'm sure they're all over the country celebrating. They do have the most alumni of any college. So really fun moment. Incredible game, really. I mean, 10-0 first half. You're thinking, okay, this is a little bit slow, kind of boring, definitely. We talked about a battle of the trenches there. And then the second half, a lot happened, right? It made it a little more exciting. So it was fun to see a more competitive game. We had Indiana, so that is unfortunate. But we also did have some other bets with them, including a teaser that got home, and then you took a money line with some games coming up this weekend. So it is good. Not our best night on the ice, but I'm ready to turn it around today. There are definitely some plays I like. Attila said not the best night for the Knights in the Fortress, and you called that little flat spot there against the Flyers too.
Yeah, I said the value was there with the Flyers last night getting the plus 175. But to finish the wrap up kind of on the national championship last night, Carson Beck did throw that interception on Miami's final drive of the year, final drive of the game. So if you were able to play that correlated parlay, good for you. Got the Indiana money line home and Carson Beck interception. And then you mentioned the teaser that we took, teasing Indiana down and the Seahawks over the weekend. But to kind of further our recap, moving off the gridiron, going to the hardwood, we'll go NBA first. NBA favorites yesterday went 7-2 straight up, 3-5-1 against the spread, and totals were just 3-6, 3 overs, 6 unders. College basketball, men's side, 29-10 were favorites straight up, 19-17-3 against the spread, and totals were 17-22, 17 overs, 22 unders there in men's college basketball. And then talking about the NHL, which you brought up, favorites 6-3-1 straight up. 6 puck lines were covered, including 2 reverse, in which the Blackhawks did defend home ice in Jonathan Tay's return to the United Center. But they ended up winning that one 2-0. And totals 5-5. So split there on the totals. But unfortunately, my board had the Maple Leafs to beat the Wild, who the Wild covered their puck line. And then I took the Islanders to cover the puck line, and they did not do that, as they gave up a goal late. But ultimately, it was a good day for you, right?
No, I had one over. My Knights over did not get there, and I took a shot at the Kraken. So I got to adjust my Pittsburgh Penguins number. But yeah, I got there with the Islanders, but not the puck line, and then the teaser, but not Indiana to cover. But we're going to move forward. We're got some winners here today, and I even have some college basketball as well. But we do have 8 games in hockey. I do want to mention some NFL notes before we go through those 8 games here. And I'm going to start off just by letting everybody know here at the South Point, opened the app today, checked and saw that they do have updated championship lines to win for every team. And it is a yes and no. I know a lot of people who do this professionally only really bet futures when you do have that option. So we have all of these here for you now. The Patriots right now, pretty crazy. Plus 275 is the yes. If you want to bet the no on New England, minus 335. Broncos 14-1 to win it all now, and minus 4,200 there if you want to bet that no. Rams plus 225, yes, to win the championship, minus 265 on the no. And then Seahawks plus 140 and minus 160 if you want to bet that no. With that, too, Ryan, we also have some coaching hires that happened.
Yeah, that we do. The Tennessee Titans take away Robert Saleh from the 49ers. They hire their defensive coordinator, giving him a second head coaching stint. Looks like he really wants to be a head coach in this league. So he decides to take over the team in Nashville, hoping to right the ship there with Cam Ward and the Titans. So Robert Saleh takes over the Titans job. We also have a different defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, the Packers defensive coordinator, taking over the head coaching job in Miami, hoping to lead the way there for the Dolphins. They have a full rebuild coming up, but apparently Hafley did really well in his interviews with every single team, and the Dolphins couldn't let him walk out of the building. We also had an offensive coordinator hire, really just a lateral move for Drew Petzing, going from the Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator job to the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator job. Granted, he goes to a much better organization, much more stable organization there, stable roster. But if we're looking at anybody next year, if Sam Laporta can get healthy, he takes over that Trey McBride role.
Yep.
So could be pretty good there for the weapons on the Lions offense.
I was thinking that exact same thing. So we will see. I do think he did more with less there in Arizona, the best that he could do. And then kind of having 2 different quarterbacks to try to scheme for. But the Robert Saleh is very interesting. I hope he does have some success here. It feels like he was in his, now this is his second head coaching job, right? not set up for the most success here. I mean, of course, the Aaron Rodgers injury made it really difficult in New York and with the Jets. So maybe a little more stable here with a young quarterback who they do believe is their franchise quarterback. But it's tough. It feels like a long way for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I mean, not nearly as much pressure in the Nashville market as it is in the New York market. So they'll be on a much longer leash. I think the best part about it is former San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh now joins the division with former 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans, and they get to go against each other twice a year. So we'll get some pretty nice defensive battles there in the AFC South, kind of combating the offensive schemes in Indianapolis and in Jacksonville. So it ultimately it is a good hire for the Titans. I don't think the Jets should have gotten rid of him. That whole organization really is a dumpster fire, but him kind of proving his worth with the injuries in San Francisco this past year, really kind of. I mean, in New York, it was a top flight defense in the league, and even still with the injuries in San Francisco, still a top flight defense. So I do think it's a good one for the Titans.
I hope so. I kind of think about Vrabel too, and how it was a tough spot for him to even. I shouldn't say that though. They did make the playoffs, so I mean he did find some success there. But we shall see. And I said it since the beginning of the year. I did not think that defense was as bad. I mean, if you looked at yards compared to points and just the turnovers that they dealt with and bad field position. So maybe he saw that too in the roster, especially on that side. But let's go over to the ice here. We do have 8 games on the board, and we do have a poll question. Do you want to go ahead and read that and have people can jump in with that as we go through the games?
Yeah, so our poll question involves the ice, which we'll start with today, but is looking at some streaks. Some 4 teams that we gave you have some under streaks going, but we want you guys to pick which under streak comes to an end tonight. So we gave you overtime. Which game do you like the over in, ending the team's overall under streak? All odds available here via the South Point. So we got the first game of the night that we'll cover. We got the Sharks and Lightning over 6.5, -110 both ways on that total. We got Bruins in Dallas taking on the Stars, over 6 there, -110 both ways. Tampa is on a 3-game under streak. Dallas is on a 4-game under streak. And then we got the Devils in Edmonton taking on the Oilers. You got to go over 6.5 there, but you're getting +105 to take that over. Edmonton is on a 3-game under streak, and the Kings hosting the Rangers. Kings on a 4-game under streak, going over 5.5. So the lowest total there of the 4 that we gave you, but you're good laying the vig -120 there.
Okay. I like 2 of those unders, so I'm hoping that those streaks continue for the home teams. But let's get right to it. Let's start. And I will say, Ryan, I don't know if you felt the same way. We've got a couple bad teams playing each other, so something's going to have to give, but probably going to stay off a couple of those games because of that. But let's go ahead and get started. I do like this first one here. The number's just little large for me there.
Largest favorite on the board tonight and tomorrow, even with the Avalanche hosting the Ducks. That one's $2.95 tomorrow night, but that's a look ahead line. So anyway, tonight we have a $3 favorite here with the Tampa Bay Lightning hosting the San Jose Sharks. $2.50 on the buyback, which is one of the best prices in the market here at the South Point. The total is also 6.5 with 110 both ways.
Sharks get a big win yesterday, 4-1 over Florida. So, I mean, I think this is a Tampa Bay spot, right? And they are 9-0-1 in their last 10 games. We've been talking about them getting hot, and they really are 4 straight wins at home. So, I mean, the only way to play it would be the puck line. We talked about it even yesterday. I liked Florida, and man, they were flat against San Jose. They were the better team there, and we didn't want to lay the puck line because they have been very competitive. So, I mean, is it even worth going -1.5, -120? I don't know. And then here's one of them that we are talking about, streaks, and the Sharks are on a 3-game under streak as well. You mentioned that. So I've got nothing. I'd like to play Tampa Bay, but it'd have to be a crazy alt line here. Even finding the 2.5.
Yeah. I fully understand the buzzsaw that the Lightning have been the last month. but the fun that the Sharks are having right now, having a goalie fight in last night's
That's
game,
right.
and their kind of bench being fired up about it, I do think that they're going to be feeling good going into this game. It is the second of a back-to-back. It is the last of a road trip, but they know the task at hand, having to beat this team. So the Sharks, so kind of going into the notes, the Sharks do go home and then start a 5-game road trip before the Olympic break. So this is the last of a 4-game road trip. Again, the first half was a back-to-back. The second half is a back-to-back. Shout out to the NHL there for the scheduling. But Tampa Bay Lightning is the first game back off of a 5-game road trip. They won 4 of those 5. They are also winners of 12 of their last 13. They have covered the puck line in 9 of those 12 games. So they are blowing teams out, but they are coming in off of a loss. So, or losing in St. Louis, but coming in off of a 4-1 win in Dallas. They have a home game, and then they go back on the road for a 2-game road trip, back-to-back road trip in Chicago and Columbus on Friday and Saturday. This is also just the second home game of the entire month of January for the Lightning. They only have 4 total home games in the month of January. So, yes, I would anticipate them being fired up in front of that home crowd. And, yeah, kind of being able to be a reality check for the Sharks. I would just caution laying the puck line, having to lay that 120. Because the Sharks have been very competitive this year. They're going to be feeling good off of last night. But, again, could be a little bit of a reality check with one of the best teams playing recently in the NHL here. So
I got so caught up, though, with Tampa Bay and looking at that puck line. Taking 1.5 is even money here.
Yep.
But you did mention 9 out of 12 Tampa Bay did cover the puck line. But still, I mean, that's got to be the better bet. So I made Tampa Bay minus 250, and that is kind of, but you see the vig there from the books. So I do think those numbers are pretty correct. So I don't know. I guess we're staying off of this one. Attila said parlay Tampa Bay with who? We're trying to find reasons to take that.
Attila, I will stay off of Tampa Bay so that way you can do that. Because the last time I've tried to do the big favorites in a parlay, the underdogs have won the games outright. So I'll stay off. You can play it with whatever you feel. So we can move up to Montreal here, where the Wild are on the second of a back-to-back in Montreal here against the Canadiens. We've got the Canadiens as a minus 130 home favorite here at the South Point, plus 110 on the buyback for the Wild. Total is 6.5 with a 120 to the under.
So I missed a better number here because last night I saw Canadians open minus 145 at home, and I made them minus 105. I might not be giving them enough respect. Their median number at home this year has been minus 130, but I still do think the Wild power rating is pretty strong, and I like what I saw yesterday in Toronto. Can they do it on a back-to-back? I mean, they've got the right tandem here for goalies, so Volstead here, plus 110 for Minnesota. I think I'm going to take a shot on that one, Ryan. What about you? Anything in this game?
I mean, I've grown to trust Montreal a whole lot, so I don't want to lay the 130, and we won't necessarily have some two-way action. But, again, it is the second of a back-to-back for the Wild. They did come in off of beating me on the whiteboard, beating the Maple Leafs there in Toronto 6-3. Their last 3 games of a road trip, last of a 3-game road trip before a 4-game homestand. It would be the second time the Wild win 3 consecutive games on the road since they won 3 consecutive in Pittsburgh, Winnipeg, and Chicago in November. So we kind of talked about them struggling a little bit recently. Coming off of that huge win streak that they got as soon as they got Quinn Hughes, they struggled a little bit. And now might be righting the ship now that they're on a business trip here. But Montreal, first game back home off of a 3-game road trip. They went 1-2 on that road trip, but they ended that road trip with a 6-5 overtime comeback win against Ottawa. They did give up 4 goals in the second period there and needed to come back there. So I would kind of think, Montreal is struggling a little bit. Don't fault you for taking the plus price with this road team, but I won't be able to do it because I do trust the Canadiens here, especially at home. But these two teams will meet up again as part of a 3-game road trip for Montreal just before the Olympic break. So we'll get this matchup here again in less than 2 weeks.
Love it. Yeah, this is the first one this year. So you're right, very close together. Kind of rest versus rest, because you just mentioned that overtime win. I mean, the Wild, this is their 4th in 6, as you mentioned. But, I mean, if they're playing good and feeling good coming into this compared to the Canadians, who are well rested, but maybe takes them a little bit of time and kind of start slow here. You don't want to do that against Minnesota either. So, all right, that's a heavy lean for me right now. Have not made a decision yet, but very close. Which goalie do you have going here for the Canadians? I believe we do have Dobbs, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like it's confirmed.
Confirmed on goalie post as well. Okay.
Okay. Going to Columbus, where the Senators are taking on the Blue Jackets. It is a pick'em price here at the South Point, 110 both ways. We also have a total of 6.5 with a 125 to the over.
Ryan, I've got nothing for you. I think these numbers are correct. Lean to the over 6.5 here, but don't really want to do that with both of the way these two teams have been playing. It is a rubber match, 1-1 on the year for these two, but I mean, Senators 4-4-2 in their last 10. Blue Jackets 5-4-1. I've got nothing. I think those numbers are right. It's basically a pick 'em here. Do you have any strong feelings?
Well, you mentioned that it is the rubber match. The road team has won both games of their previous meetings. Both also covered the puck line in the road building. So, however, and Ottawa enters this off of back-to-back overtime losses. Columbus is on a 4-game win streak, and I know, Alex, I kind of showed you that video of Elvis Merzlikins talking after beating, I believe, Philly or
That's
Pittsburgh, talking about new coach. That's the bump that they got, was they fired their head coach and have now won 4 straight. They won in the final game with that coach, but have won 3 straight since firing that coach. And the locker room seems to be pretty fired up about it, wanting to win these games and excited to have their bench coach kind of take over and really lead the ways for these guys. So I would like to play Columbus on the money line here tonight. It is the start of a 5-game homestand for them, coming off of a 4-3 shootout win against the Penguins. And Ottawa also is in the middle of a 3-game road trip. They're in Nashville on Thursday. Then they have a 4-game homestand in which they face Carolina, Vegas, Colorado, and New Jersey. So that's going to be a very tough homestand for Ottawa. And then they go on a 3-game road trip before the Olympic break. So if they can win here tonight or win in Nashville, I do kind of think that those might be 2 of their last wins before we get to the break here. So, the Senators need to start feeling good in order to win these games. But I don't think any team is feeling as good as the Blue Jackets are right now. Well, granted, Tampa. But in terms of how the season has been going and things kind of turning around, I do think Columbus is feeling good and they get the win here tonight at home. So
it is interesting, something that we will keep an eye on, because first time I've seen Ullmark be probable on any of these sites, and he is on goalie post, but did go to Twitter to check, and he will not be starting, but they might be getting him slowly back to prepare for all those tough games coming up here. Yeah. Of course, he stepped away with personal things a while ago. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope your Blue Jackets get it done here. And, Merzlikins, I do think he's a better goalie than what his numbers say. So, hope he can turn it around here. Look at those numbers there. We might get a lot of goals in that one.
Yeah, let me check on a regulation draw is plus 320. And a reverse puck line would be plus 224.
He's tempted. He's thinking about it.
Yeah, I think I'd be more inclined to taking the overtime, getting the $3 there. But again, I do think Columbus ends up coming out here and getting their 5th consecutive win. But I'd be more inclined to taking the overtime price there. So we can move down to Dallas. All right, where the Bruins are taking on the Stars. The Bruins are getting plus 125 on their buyback because the Stars are a minus 145 home favorite. Total is 6. 110 both ways.
These two haven't played in a while. Actually, since 2024. So even on last year's schedule, it wasn't. They were kind of front loaded in 2024 and didn't play 2025. Boston 8-1-1 in the last 10, and then the Stars 2-6-2. So two teams just going in opposite directions. I would have Dallas minus 175 at home. I've tried not to be too knee jerk with their power rating, but I mean, you got to add in the 6-game win streak, 4-game losing streak at home for the Stars. So that's 30 cents right there. We're pretty much at the number. The only thing I could take a shot at is the under here, with Dallas struggling to score. We'll have Jake Ottinger, though. Jeremy Swayman on the other side. Feels like a dead under. Sometimes those can be the scariest. But I think this number should be 5.5. So under for me with these two goalies going. Ryan, what do you think? You think that that trend gets broken? Or you going with Boston and their nice win streak here, getting a plus price?
I'm going with Boston. I do think they get the win here on the road against the Stars. The Stars are really struggling on offense. They've lost 3 consecutive games, only scoring 1 goal in each of those 3 games. They're also losers of 10 of their last 12. And then when you compare it to Boston, winners of 6 straight, coming off of a 5-2 win in Chicago, in which they got to shut up the building during their banner nights. I remember the name today. Celebration in which they kind of honored all of their Stanley Cup champions and brought a whole lot of Stanley Cup alumni back. So they did shut up the building in Chicago, scoring 5 unanswered goals in that game. So I do think the Bruins are a wagon right now. Plus 125 on the money line is what I'll be taking tonight. It looks like the reverse puck line is also. Let me pull that back up.
Yeah, what are we getting for that?
Plus 285, and then that one's overtime is also $3.
I could definitely see that. Somebody in the chat said Jake has been bad on my fantasy team. I'm guessing he means Ottinger.
Yeah, definitely means Otter.
But I mean, both of these guys are above 900 save percentage. But
yeah, it is hard for me to kind of say that the Bruins will beat up on Jake Ottinger and be able to score a lot of goals. But I do think that the way that they're playing right now and the way that the Stars are really struggling, the plus 125 money line here with the Bruins is good.
I'm gonna add it pizza money here as well, taking the Bruins plus 125 full unit, but I'm gonna go under that 6 here. But just watch, if it's 3-0 Boston, you're gonna be sad you didn't take a little bit of that reverse puck line.
Yep.
But I get it. I think Dallas, this one they'll definitely show up for.
Yeah.
A team like Boston here.
Want to stand up for your fans, especially after losing the way that they did at home in their last game. So don't know if they'll get embarrassed twice in a row at home. All right, going up to Winnipeg, where the Jets are on the second of a back-to-back, but they are going from away to home. They welcome the Blues to town. The Jets are a minus 125 favorite at home, 105 on the buyback for the Blues, and a total of 6 with 110 both ways.
Now this is the matchup I was talking about here. Which of the two bad teams do you want to put your money on here? Minus 125, I do think the Jets are worthy of being at least $1.40 with home ice. I made them minus 170. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence here to play this team, though. But the Blues have lost 6 straight road games coming into this one. Their median number is 2 goals for, 3 goals against. The Jets are 3-3 at home, but it is their 4th game in 6 nights, like you mentioned, just played in Chicago. And that was with Hellebuck. So now they've got their backup goalie, but sometimes that makes the guys step up in front of them, right? The Blues did win the first one 1-0, so it was a very low-scoring game.
Yeah, very low scoring. The Jets were shut out, but in their last matchup, not this matchup specifically, but in their last games played, both teams got shut out. So some offensive struggles there in their last meetings or last games for these two teams played. So tend to think that the under would be good here. But I do agree with you that the Jets, the Blues are not a very good team, and I wouldn't want to be playing them. So it would be look to the Jets minus 125, maybe even them getting right and being able to put some pucks in the net. Maybe covering the puck line, getting that $2 there.
I did make it 5.5 over. So that is a 20-cent difference if you're using that minus 110 here that the books are putting out. So lean to I think we're on the same page there. Lean to under 6 and the Jets.
All right, going to another pretty bad team, the Nashville Predators here, hosting the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres on the second of a back-to-back. They did not get the goals for us yesterday, suffering a 2-1 loss in Carolina. But they're in Nashville here tonight, getting plus 105 on the money line. The road team, Predators, are a minus 125 home favorite. Total is 6.5 with a 120 to the under.
You know what I'm curious about, which maybe we'll start tracking next year, but which team is the toughest team for the following game? Kind of like in football, right? Where last year it was like every team lost the week after they played the Lions. You found that every team after they played the Bears lost the next one. I think this is a terrible spot for Buffalo, right? After playing Carolina, that do play so much man-to-man, and then they also had Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen going. I know you said Nashville's terrible. They have been a little bit better as of late, last month or so. I'm saying all that. I don't really have anything. I did make it 6, so it would be a look to under 6.5 here, or to the home team again. What jumped out to you?
That both teams have had a little bit of a reality check recently. The Predators won 7-3 in Colorado, giving Colorado their 5th regulation loss of the year and their first regulation loss in the Ball Arena in Denver. So, but then they followed that with a 7-2 loss here in Vegas. So the Knights were able to punch them in the mouth after they felt good about beating the best team in the NHL. The Sabres had the longest win streak in the NHL this season. They had won 11 straight. They are winners of 15 of their last 19, but they are losers of 3 of their last 5. So Sabres struggling here a little bit. Predators got their reality check. I would like to think that they'll be more prepared to defend home ice here against the team that kind of struggled yesterday. But yesterday's game was an early game, so they were able to travel, get to Nashville. Granted, Nashville's a little bit of a party town, so maybe they went out, had a couple drinks, got a little bit recovered. I would tend to think that the Sabres are going to be active here, and the plus 105 could be good.
Babe, you said it, Nashville flew a little bit, but you're leaning that side. I'm leaning to the home team here. The Sabres, too, 6 in 9 nights, so that could be part of it. Coming back down to reality a little bit. Both of these teams have a negative looking at their median. So Buffalo, 3 goals for, 4 goals against, and then Nashville, even worse, 2 goals for at home, and allowing 3 is their median number. So
both teams losing by a goal in this setting. Okay. Well, not too great, but yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned, the little bit of a Nashville flu or whatever town you want to point it to, but hockey players are a little. They got a little bit of a different kind of going out and having to recover. We've seen guys be a little bit intoxicated or be pretty hungover the next night and have some career nights. So, the Sabres kind of needing that reality check, needing a bonding night maybe. I would think that they'll be okay here tonight.
I don't even know if this generation is quite like the older guys, though. There's not a lot of Alex Ovechkins left out there, so I don't even know if they do go out that much.
Sure.
But
all right, going back across the border, going to Edmonton, where the Devils are on their second of a back-to-back. Devils are getting plus 155 here at the South Point on the money line. The Oilers are laying minus 175 on the money line, and the total is 6.5 with a 125 to the under.
The only thing I'm looking at, Ryan, is Oilers' puck line here. So talk me into it or talk me out of it. I made a minus 170. It's been bet up that high. It was minus 150. All the money's on Edmonton. I understand why. Devils on a back-to-back. They got their win in overtime against the Flames, so it was a tough game. They did have Markstrom going. Now they're going to Jack Allen here. So I always call him Jack. It's Jake, just like Andre. Jake Allen. So I like the Oilers in this spot. Tristan Jarry's back. What do you think?
Yeah, Oilers winners of back-to-back games. Granted, it was against the Canucks and the Blues, but they shut both of those teams out and outscored them 11-0.
One
So,
goal, right? In regulation, they've allowed in their last few.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe they went to overtime the night before, or the game before the Canucks and Blues. But yeah, Devils, second of a back-to-back, second of a 4-game road trip, and they beat the Flames yesterday 2-1. When I was kind of more so leaning to the Flames being able to get it done and possibly a reverse puck line in that one. But Devils did get it done. Possibly a little bit of a reality check after the Oilers beat up on those terrible teams in the National Hockey League with this kind of matchup of two teams that had really high expectations going into the year. So I do think it'll end up being tight, but it is really hard to go against Edmonton in their home barn. So I would not fault you at all for laying that puck and a half, getting the plus 145.
So yeah, they lost to the Islanders, gave up 1 goal to them, 1-0, but then put up 11. But you're right, against, the two teams that we are fading regularly in Vancouver and St. Louis. So you're right, this is going to be a step up in class for sure.
Yep. All right, going to Los Angeles, where the Kings welcome the Rangers. Rangers are getting plus 155 on the money line here, same price as the last game, and 175 on the money line for the Kings. But the total is the lowest of the night on the board, 5.5. But this one, the juice is to the over, minus 120.
I only want a 6. Looks like the 6s are gone. I don't know if it's the best time right now to be going under 5.5, which I used to not really be afraid of that at all. But right now, the Rangers, without Shesterkin, they're coming into this one on 5 straight overs. So I'm going to stay off of it. If it was a 6, I'd be under. I made it 5.5 under. So it's a little bit of a lean that way. But yeah, nothing for me. If anything, I think this is a little bit high on the Kings with them coming into this one, losing 4 in a row, losing 4 straight home games, and struggling to score. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think it is too hefty of a price here on the Kings, minus 175 on the money line. But second of a back-to-back for the Rangers. They just lost in Anaheim 5-3. They are losers of 6 of their last 7, 9 of their last 11, and 15 of their last 23 since the start of December.
Jeez.
It is also supposed to be Jonathan Quick in net, who it will be his return to LA, where he did win a cup. But just on the money line this year, Jonathan Quick is 3-12, 3-10-2, 2 overtime losses there, but 3-12 on the money line. However, the Kings, losers of 4 straight, 3 of those in overtime or shootout, losers of 4 straight at home since they beat Minnesota in back-to-back home games there to kind of start the month. Their offense is really struggling. They've only scored 6 goals in their last 4 games, only 10 in their last 6. And they're about to go on a 6-game road trip. So with the Rangers struggles, with the Kings struggles, I would tend to think that we won't get many goals in this game. But granted, it is only a 5.5. So I could see a 3-3 overtime. But I do think that it's really hard to play either of these teams with how bad things are going for them right now.
It's got to be pretty sharp money here for them to go from 6 to 5.5. So I do agree with it. Is that the one that someone in the chat's kind of thinking contrarian, going with a little bit of an over here? I would say Jonathan Quick, revenge, but he's been with the Rangers for a while now.
Yeah, he's moved to a couple different spots. So,
well, no, just Kings stop here in Vegas and then to the Rangers, right?
Yeah.
So we said a lot to which bad team do we want to bet on between these two? The Kings are bad at home. The Rangers are better on the road.
Yes.
Also, because they're bad at home too.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Just I thought the same thing, but then you realize how bad the Rangers have been recently.
It's ugly.
Yeah, kind of hard to play them.
Yeah. Okay, so stay off for that one. If anybody else has any better ideas, which I think they're leaning to the over there, which I wonder if that won for the poll.
It's not quite there.
Not quite there.
That one is still trailing in our poll. We'll leave it active for a little bit longer, but yeah, people kind of going with at the moment the first game of the day.
Recapping your favorite
It'll be on
for
the whiteboard.
today. Okay, we're gonna wait 20 minutes. I'm gonna pull up my basketball sheet. So if anybody has any questions, wants any numbers, I really just picked out a couple, mostly totals. I think I only have totals today. But I saw Vandy. I knew that was going to be the game asked about. But I don't have a big difference in that one. Is this the first game for Vandy off the loss? I believe it is. 2. Them and Iowa State lose 2 this week. That's right. Okay. Ryan, I've got some action
Okay.
for college basketball.
Okay.
If we shall shift there.
Yeah, we'll start there.
All right. I love this over here. And I did just want to mention, because it's kind of a big deal, Miami, Ohio's got a nice active win streak. Have not lost this year. One of the few undefeated teams still. Second longest active win streak. Pretty crazy. They're only a 1-point favorite on the road here. So this may be a little bit of a tough matchup for them. I'm not going to get involved. I just thought that was intriguing. And Kent State would really like to be the one to do it. And they are at home. So, but the one that I do like, I do have an over here. Akron and Buffalo. Going over that 168.5, unless that did move even more. But defense optional. Both of these teams play good offensively, not the best defensively, and both want to push the pace. So I think that number is too low here between them. Miami, Ohio, and Kent State, you can kind of look at that as the same, but I will just say tread lightly, because looking at last year's 3 games, they tended to play each other at a slower, more grind out pace there. But yeah, Akron 33rd quickest in the country going back to that one. They're 16th. Ken Palm's numbers, offensive efficiency, 217th defense. And then Bowling Green, 159th. Not Bowling Green, Buffalo. 300, over 300 defensively, 94th offensively. So give me all the points there in that one. Another one over going to the SEC, but I want to check this one because LSU, their point guard, Deion Thomas Jr., was formerly here at UNLV, trending in the right direction. He could be back in this game against Florida. And if he is, I definitely like the over there. Looks like they have taken some under money, 157.5. It was 159 last night. So I would wait on that one. Keep watching it and check if Deion Thomas is coming back. But switched from doubtful to questionable, which is usually a really good sign. Okay, let me go back and find Vandy. So LSU, Florida, I have 162.5. Kind of being bet into a play there, like a 5-point difference on the side, but still leaning that way. And I'm going to check and see if he is playing. Going with the over in Akron and Buffalo. That is top of the board, 603, 604 rotation number. And then let's get to Vandy. There it is. Vandy and Arkansas do have Vandy as the favorite, but it's not just a 1-point favorite on the road against the Razorbacks. Total 172.5. Not enough that I would want to get involved either. Probably jumping in game with these two, right? We'll probably see a kind of shift in momentum there. And if Arkansas goes up, you could get a way better number on Vanderbilt. Ryan, anything for you on the hardwood?
I am curious of your numbers featuring our Rebels here tonight. We do have Matt, where we normally have Matt and Everett on the show on Tuesdays, but he's in Logan, Utah for the Utah State UNLV game. We will have him and Dwayne Colucci on the show on Thursday to kind of preview the conference championships there in the NFL. But we do have Utah State as a 16.5-point favorite. and then total at 157. So what are your numbers there?
That's funny. I was looking at those at 14.5 for Utah State at home and a higher total at 162.5. I just worry about playing that one because when the Rebels went on the road to Wyoming, I mean, they did not show up at all for that one. Let me see the actual final score. But it was ugly. Ryan, 98-66, didn't contribute much to that. And Utah State is a much better team than Wyoming even. So, lean to the over. It looks like Ken Palm has a pretty high number too. So that's interesting why we're sitting at 157. Too many overs. So that's a lean to the over. And then also Auburn, which I think will be a pretty fun game there. Auburn and Ole Miss. I think the side's right. I've got Auburn 3. It's at 150.5. I've got 155.5. So a little bit of a difference between those two. Nothing really. Texas Baylor lean under that next game, next rotation number, 649, 650. And lean to Texas Tech at just 2 here against Baylor. That has gone down 153.5. So sharp money is bringing that in the right direction. One more. I do like this under Michigan State. One of my favorite. Tom Izzo's team. Only 2 losses on the year. Going to Oregon. Total 137.5. It was 139 last night. It's moving down, jumping now. I think it should be closer to 130. So let's see. We'll see. Unders haven't been the nicest to us in college basketball, but I think that's going to be a grinded out. Definitely. And Michigan State right now, top defense. It's not Houston. It's not Iowa State. It is the Spartans as of right now for college basketball. All right. That's it. Unless we had any more questions.
Yeah, we had Dean Hill asking about one more SEC game. So we're looking at 659, 660. The Georgia Bulldogs on the road at Missouri. We have a pick'em here at the South Point. There are 1.5s for the home team in the market. There's also a 1 for the road team in the market. But here at the South Point, it is a pick'em, 110 both ways, and a total of 164.5.
My numbers actually have Georgia as a 2-point favorite here. So lean to the road team here. That just always makes me a little bit nervous. Georgia does have home revenge. They lost to Missouri at home last year, 87-74. So if that helps you get there. But I believe Dean Hill was hoping more for the Mizzou side. Total 175. You want to play that over.
I mean, yeah, we saw Georgia put up a whole lot of points in their last couple of matchups. So, 164.5 is where it's at. You got, what, an 11-point difference there?
Yep. I don't know how I missed that one. I think it's just, it's going to, who dictates the pace, right? Because Georgia definitely wants to run. But Missouri's been a slow it down kind of team. Definitely wants to force you into the shot clock defensively. So we'll see who gets to dictate that pace. But if I like the Georgia side, that would lean to them, right? Getting to run and forcing the Tigers to run with them. So good find, Dean Helt. I wonder what he liked in it.
We also do have a question from J Main asking about the team up north here in Nevada. Reno hosting San Jose State. Reno is a 17.5-point favorite and a total of 142.5.
I've got Reno 16 and the total 138.
So slightly in there at the under.
Slightly to the under. Speaking of Nevada, though, they played Utah State really competitive. So I guess it's just a matter of them not having. Well, then they got to play Air Force. Okay, missed that one. But yeah, they went to Utah State. Kind of got out of hand, but they lost by 9 and then beat Air Force pretty good, 81-66. Now they get another one of the teams that's bottom of the Mountain West here in San Jose State. So at home, San Jose State does have home revenge if you want to add that in. But I wouldn't really be looking to that's a lot of points. But I'd be looking more towards the under for sure. both of their paces.
We also did have Jern kind of asking about the home revenge, but it is a play. Team loses on their own home court and then tries to go back and do the same to the team that beat them.
Yes, that is what I use for the revenge. And then give them kind of like 2.5 points. So you kind of are taking away the home field for that one, right? Because they're going to be highly motivated. And then kind of thinking of it also as in Nevada's like, oh, we beat them at their place. Now they're coming to us.
Should be easy.
So it might take them a little bit lightly, and they'll be highly motivated going in there. So.
Makes sense.
All right. Any other basketball questions? We want to go to our poll and our ticker trivia. I forgot to announce. I did see it pop up, and there it is. Brought to you by City Light Shine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll go ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Was a hockey question for you guys today. So it is written: Hall of Fame center for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux, joined an elite company on this date in sports history, January 20th, 1989, by scoring his 50th goal in only the first 46 games of that regular season. Name the 4 other players in NHL history to have reached that 50-goal mark in just their first 50 games or less of that season. Prior to Mario Lemieux, Maurice Richard, Mike Bossy, and Wayne Gretzky each had seasons in which they reached that 50-goal plateau within the first 50 games of the season. Only one NHL player, Brett Hull, has since joined that select club after Lemieux, scoring 50 goals with the Blackhawks in the first 49 games of the 1990-1991 season. So the answer of City Light Shine would be Maurice Richard, Mike Bossy, Wayne Gretzky, and Brett Hull. Of the 5 players, the fastest to accomplish the feat was the great one, Wayne Gretzky, scoring 50 goals in under 40 games. It took him just 39 games to score 50 goals in the Oilers' 1981-1982 season.
Jeez. Perfect question. Thank you to Vince, who always does a great job with those. Ryan, did you get your board all set up?
I have not yet.
Okay.
But I can go over the poll, and then you can go over yours. So,
okay. I'll give you a second.
Talking about goals there with Ticker Trivia, presented by City Light Shine. We are talking about goals here tonight with our poll. Going overtime. Which game do you like the over in, ending the home team's overall under streak? Gave you the first game of the night, the Sharks on the road in Tampa, taking on the Lightning. A over 6.5, 110. Tampa is on a 3-game under streak. We gave you Bruins Stars in Dallas, over 6. Stars are on a 4-game under streak. The Devils and Oilers in Edmonton, over 6.5 there. Getting a plus price, plus 105. Edmonton is on a 3-game under streak. And the Rangers and Kings, over 5.5. Kings on a 4-game under streak themselves, but you got to lay the vig there, minus 120. And over 40% of our vote are going with the Sharks and Lightning, over 6.5. Thinking the 7 goals, at least 7 goals, will be scored in that game with a ton of potential for goals.
Ton of potential. That actually was my favorite too, that I did vote for. Okay, I'll let you get your board set up. I'll go through mine. It's funny. So my leans, I'll start there because I was leaning with LSU and Florida going over that number, but I'm going to hold off and make sure that Deon Thomas is playing in that one. Dean Hill, he found me a nice play here. I am going to add the Georgia and Missouri. I am going to play the Georgia and the Missouri. Probably do a nice little round robin here with my college basketball. I'm going, let me get this picture so I can have a visual for everyone. Keeping it with basketball first. I like the action here. I like these 2 teams. Defense optional, Akron, Buffalo. So I'm going over that total 168.5. Drew Dog, feel free to correct me if any of these have moved because these are the overnight numbers that I did have down. 168.5, still there at the South Point. Going with Michigan State and Oregon. Oregon's got some injuries. I just don't see them really being able to hang around in this one. Michigan State, 11-point favorite on the road. So I'm going under that 137.5 now. And then I'm going with this over here. 10-point difference. I missed it. Georgia, Missouri over 164.5. to pick them too. Maybe we'll even get that overtime to help us out, as it usually hurts my unders. 2-3 on the ice, because I'm going to follow Ryan. SBTB stamp of approval here. Taking a shot with the Bruins, plus 125 against the struggling Dallas Stars. I'm also going with the under, though. Under 6 here. I trust both goalies in Swayman and Ottinger. I do think that it will be a defensive, tighter game here. And then I'm going to take a shot here with Edmonton, minus 1.5, plus 145, playing the Devils in a good spot there with them on a back-to-back. So those are my best bets on this Tuesday, January 20th. Hoping to turn it around, get back on the winning side, even though teaser helped me out yesterday. All in all, was not a fantastic day for my betting account. So, and anybody who followed, I'm sorry. All right, Ryan, let's give it to you if you are ready for your whiteboard and your best bets today.
All right. So we'll start it off. Yeah. With the Bruins, money line, plus 125 there in Dallas. Granted, I do think they'll be able to cover that puck line, getting over $2 there. So, but anyway, money line for the best play, one of the best plays of the day. Then going with Ottawa and Columbus. I did want to play Columbus on the money line, but very tempting to take the draw for them to get to overtime, getting over $3 there, plus 320. And then this one is a shop around price. It is plus 105 here at the South Point, but there is a plus 110 available in the market. So the Sabres money line in Nashville, being able to get it done there against the Predators. All plus prices.
Very good. I love that. Finding good value, not just giving out favorites, right? I do have one favorite with the Oilers, but
I don't hate that one. That one I could either see going to overtime there, where you can get another over 250 plus price there, or the puck line, them getting an empty netter or absolutely blowing the Devils out of the building. So, yeah, don't hate the Oilers there at all.
maybe it is worth it a little bit of a hedge there with thinking I might go to overtime. Why have we had so many overtime games this year? Just all in all.
Yeah, games getting better. Teams, there is kind of a clear bottom and a clear top, but the parity in the NHL is pretty high. So teams put up a whole lot of fight. Hockey is a very fun sport. So, just competitive all the way around.
Yeah, you're right. And as I mentioned, I mean, looking at their median numbers and just how many threes there are across the board, even some of the best teams allowing 3 goals.
Yep.
Maybe kind of caught up too with how good the goalies were playing the last couple of years. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Let's cash some tickets, get some winners. I like everybody in there that was talking about that trivia question. Really got everybody talking about hockey there. Ryan, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, not necessarily. Let's cash tickets.
Cash some tickets. We'll be back tomorrow. It is top 10 day for hockey, so we'll give you our updated rankings and ratings. And then we'll do the same thing, hockey and college basketball. Ryan mentioned it, Thursday. We are going through both conference championship games with Dwayne Colucci and Matt Neverett. Looking forward to that. And then Friday, we'll be back noon, Football Frenzy. Vince, thank you for keeping that chat going and getting our poll questions. Drew Dog, thank you for cutting the show. And Jerry, Sean, thank you for all that you do behind the scenes. And Ryan, thank you for doing this hour show with me each and every day.
Likewise.
We'll be back tomorrow, everybody. I'm Alex White. Thank you for watching, and hit that subscribe button. We are moving up with the numbers, so we appreciate you all. This has been Sports by the Book. We'll see you tomorrow, and cash some tickets, everyone.